Welcome back. We are going to be listening to chapter 5, part 2. We know that Liam has started Waterloo High. He's the tallest student in the in primary. He finds it difficult getting to school because none of the bus drivers believe he's a child. So mum has to come over and explain to them that he's in fact a child. And there's a lot of mention about this beard. At the beginning of chapter 5, Liam had a failed attempt of shaving it, which led to a lot of blood loss. So in this chapter, we're probably going to find a little bit more about Liam's experience of Waterloo High. Dad also gave me his old mobile phone so that if he ever lost me again, like in Enchantment Land, he would be able to find me. His phone's got Drax World on it. In case you don't know, that's this cosmic application that shows you your present location, directions to anywhere from anywhere, and also live satellite photographs of anything in the world. You can use it to look at volcanoes erupting, tidal waves, forest fires, anything. Dad uses it to make sure the traffic is flowing smoothly on the bypass. That first day at Waterloo High, I was on Drax World all the way to school on the 61. That's the name of the bus. I used it to look at theme parks and thrill rides. I found Oblivion in Alton Towers, Space Mountain in Euro Disney, the Terror in Camelot, Thunder Dolphin, Air, all of them. So what does this tell you about Liam's interests? Although his dad has only been using the app for looking at the traffic, Liam is looking at theme park rides, but also he's aware that the cosmic app Drax World can be used to find out satellite photographs of things much bigger than just the local traffic. As the bus was crawling along Waterloo Road, I typed in Waterloo, wondering if I'd be able to get a satellite view of me on the bus. Instead, the screen filled up with 10,000 options. There were Waterloos everywhere. Waterloo Station in London, Waterloo the port in Sierra Leone, Waterloo in Belgium. You could go around the whole planet just jumping from Waterloo to Waterloo. I found Waterloos with waterfalls, Waterloos in the jungle, Waterloos in snowy mountains, and Waterloos with sandy white beaches. I couldn't figure out why anyone who wanted to live in a Waterloo would think, yes, Waterloo, but not the one with the big beach or the one in the limitless whitewashes of Siberia. No, the one with the flyover, handy for the New Strand shopping centre. Drax World gives you directions to anywhere, so it's not like it would be hard. If you were a proper grown-up and not just a stubbly boy, if you were my dad, for instance, all you'd have to do is fill your car with petrol, turn left, turn right, go straight on, and the next thing you know, white beaches, snowy mountains, coral reefs, truly grown-upness is wasted on grown-ups. When I got to school, Mrs. Sass, the head, saw me in reception and said, "Ah, Tom?" Liam, "Yes, of course. I'm Lorraine. Come this way." I remember thinking, fancy her telling me her first name. Isn't that friendly? Mrs. Kendall never told us her first name when we were in Joan of Arc. So Lorraine took me off to the staff room and started telling me the names of all the teachers. They all shook hands with me and said that they were pleased to meet me. I was thinking, what a polite school. I wonder if they do this to every new kid. It must take ages. Then Lorraine said, "Everybody, this is Tom. Sorry, Liam Middleton, our new head of media studies." And she was pointing at me. So what has she mistaken Liam for? And once again, it seems like the height might be the issue, or the stubble. I know I should have put her right there and then, but someone gave me a mug of coffee and a custard cream and sat me down in a nice, big, easy chair. So I thought I'll tell her later when I've eaten the biscuit. Then Lorraine said, "We've got assembly this morning. I'll bring you up on stage and introduce you to the whole school. Do you have anything you'd like me to say about you, like what football team you support or any special interests?" Remember, Liam's not in the school uniform either because the school uniform doesn't fit him because he's so tall, abnormally tall for his age. So he's gone into school probably smart but wearing his own clothes. I suppose that would have been a good time to say, "Very interestingly, I'm not a teacher. I'm a year 7. But she just seemed so happy. So I said, "I like massively multiplayer online computer games." She looked a bit blank. Like World of Warcraft, where you have an avatar and your avatar has skills and goes on quests. So she's finding that a bit strange for a grown-up to like that game. Ah, said Lorraine. Skills. We are great believers in promoting skills here at Waterloo High. I've got a lot of skills, I said. Of course, some of them aren't that useful in real life, like dragon taming. Some of them are illegal, like knife throwing. I think that's illegal. I think it probably is. I did try to persuade the head in my last school to start a World of Warcraft club, but she just looked at me like I was an idiot. Lorraine looked at me like I was an idiot. Then the bell went. We'd better go through to assembly. Maybe you should just introduce yourself. Don't worry about being interesting. So that's how I ended up on the stage, standing just behind Lorraine while she talked to the whole school. There were about 8 people in the front row who knew me because they'd been at Joan of Arc Primary 2, including Florida Kirby, who kept waving and making faces. So Florida Kirby's thinking, oh, well, he's a year 7 boy. I know him from my old school. What's he doing on stage? Lorraine said everyone was welcome and she hoped everyone had had a good summer, and then something about a new registration procedure. And then she said, and now I'd like to introduce you to a new member of staff. He's going to be teaching media studies and he'll be form tutor for class 9, Mandela. This is Mr. Middleton. And she pointed at me. I stepped up to the microphone and said, thanks, Lorraine. Sorry, Mrs. Sass. But everyone in the hall was already muttering, Lorraine, her real name's Lorraine. And Lorraine was looking cross. All these faces were looking up at me. Part of me was thinking I really should think more about the consequences of my actions, then this wouldn't happen to me. But another part of me was thinking, this is good. Okay, so in the next part, we'll find out what happens what happens later on in the assembly. Will the other children find out that, you know, Liam is not a media studies teacher, he's a student? Will Lorraine find out there in that moment in the assembly?